We are. It's pretty low tide today. Just out here looking for fish parts and things. Never know what you're gonna find here. Mostly trash. People's trash, like it's a sandal. Somebody lost a sandal. Oh, the boat is still here. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there at the top of the boat. I don't know if you can see that. I thought it was gone, but it's still here. Salvage operation. I don't think I see anything interesting today. So let's talk about credit cards, fraud, banks, identity theft, and how it all works. I don't really know, but look at this, a baseball. Yes, get a baseball. I think it's signed by David Ortiz. He hit that long drive all the way to here to Wareham, I think. Wow. Anyways, the bank fraud, bank cards. It just amazes me that when this all started and fraud started. Oh, there's a good plug right there. That's a good fishing plug right there. There's hooks on it. There's line. When all this bank fraud started, people said, well, let's make the people pay for it. Let's make them pay for it. There's a good ball over there, volleyball. I should go get that. Let's make the people pay for it. If somebody takes it out of their account, we'll just tell them how they have to deal with it. So that's not very good. And I don't, the whole thing just kills me these days. There's more and more fraud. There's more and more people hacking people's accounts. And there's got to be a better way. I mean, now you can put your card in your phone with Apple Pay, and you can it's protected pretty good that way. It never gets your card number. It never really reads your number. Apple gives it a different number every time you use it. Eventually somebody will probably figure out a way to hack into that. But for now, that works pretty good. But the fact that the banks, let someone take your money out, because they gave you this card to use, and now people are taking your money out of it, and the bank says, well, we had to give it to them because that's a transaction. It could have been you, we didn't know. But you got to have a better way. And you can't just keep doing that and then try and sell them some kind of fraud insurance. I know a lot of cards now come with, guaranteed or fraud protection. So you're protected against it. If somebody steals your card and uses it, you don't have to pay for it. So most cards will go that way soon, I'm sure. And then they put the chip in them, and that seemed to work for a while. But it doesn't always work. Look at this mooring ball out there. I don't think anybody has a mooring here. I don't think that's a real mooring. So, like the banks, I had someone that I knew just had, $8,000 put on their debit card. Somebody else got a hold of their card and charged all kinds of things and had them shipped to places. And the bank was pretty good at working with it, and they try and solve everything and, take the charges off your card. But it's kind of funny that, they give you this card, they go through all this stuff, and when you call up and tell them, hey, somebody charged $8,000 on my card, and they say, well, we have to figure out that it wasn't you. You should be able to say, well, it wasn't me because you're asking me. You shouldn't have to prove all this shit. You shouldn't have to prove that somebody else charged shit on your card. I mean, that's just ridiculous. The way that they word things and do things these days is remarkable. Some of the fine print, if you were ever to read it, you'd probably be amazed. But I just don't understand how, they just tell you this is the way it's going to be and everybody agrees to it and then they do it. And it's like, oh yeah, well, we're responsible for it. Well, that's foolish. If you put your money in a bank and you have a card that you take it out with, and then somebody else uses your card and takes money out, they shouldn't be able to do it in the first place. There should be, they shouldn't allow banks and companies to do this. If it doesn't work, there's a lot of fraud involved. I mean, the company should figure out the fraud, or the government agencies. I mean, we used to have, if somebody wrote a bad check, you go to the police station, or they try and figure out who it was. But now with all this electronic fraud, they don't do shit. They just look at you and laugh. I mean, they just like, oh, we can't do anything about it. We can't figure it out, so we're not going to do anything. And that's just freaking amazing to me. That's like somebody figures out a way to murder people, and the police department says, well, we can't figure it out, so we're just not going to do anything about it. I mean, that's what it's like. It's like, I guess you can't ask the police station to do it. You got to have some other cyber police, working on things like this to solve stuff, I'm sure. And I'm sure they do it. I don't know what the big companies do. I mean, a lot of them, they just write it off as an insurance thing. And they have insurance on their cards or their money. So they don't seem to worry about it. And then insurance companies are making ridiculous amounts of money on these people because everybody's paying for this insurance. And, I don't know what they do to solve these problems. I really don't. But they should be doing more than what they do. I mean, they should be figuring this out. It shouldn't be that, there's so much fraud involved. I just don't understand how banks, it's convenient for everyone, and you have a card, and but if somebody steals it, that's not really convenient. Now I know they have cards that you can turn on and off now. I think with an app, with your mobile app on them, you can just turn them off, so nobody can use that card, which is a really good thing. And that's what they should have on every card. But it's just amazing the amount of fraud, and how with insurance on a lot of cards and things, people just seem to just don't do anything about it. Banks don't, credit card companies don't. They just write it off. It's kind of crazy. Okay. There's an osprey out there. Right up there somewhere. I can't see it. I can see it in real life, but I can't see it on my camera. So, that's it. What are your thoughts on the credit card companies?